Hello, how are we all doing today? Welcome to another episode of Snap Crackle. Oh, that was crap. With me, Elliot.
And me, Dan.
Sorry, that was a failure.
Snap Crackle Traffic Jam.
Yeah.
This is what it should be called.
Literally. It is very warm today, so we've got our balcony doors open, but that does mean you'll probably hear traffic in the background, so...
Deal with it.
Deal with it. Apologies in advance. Period.
It's already started.
I'm getting all hot and flustered now. So today we're going to do something a little bit different. It's still episode 17.
I mean, we say different, but we've done one before.
We have done one before, but
a long time ago.
So today, instead of talking about kind of new music releases, which there hasn't been that many this week, to be fair, so we might add them on to next week.
Yeah, it's been shit. The back catalogue this week, really shit.
I saw there was loads of announcements, as Cardi B.
Yeah, but there's not enough substance, I don't think, to warrant a full podcast on new releases this week, because it was relatively disappointing.
There's loads of stuff coming out towards the end of the month, isn't there?
Yes.
So we will be catching up on that next time. But for today, we're going to take a little bit of a dive into
Catherine Hudson.
Yes, aka Katy Perry, for those of you that don't know who that is. And we're going to talk a little bit about basically where it went wrong.
Her career so far. Yeah. And kind of, where we think the kind of crack started to...
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think everyone listening to this will probably unanimously agree that Katy Perry is not the artist she once was. No. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Which is fine. It's fine. I think she's fine with it, but maybe.
It's been a long journey for her to be okay with it. But...
Yeah. So basically, like we did with Selena Gomez. That was episode 4?
Yeah, that would have been in February or something.
Yeah, so if you haven't listened to that, go back and listen to that. So we call these episodes an artist special. Yeah. Because we just kind of dissect their career really and go through everything thus far and where they're heading now with their latest career move. So yeah.
Where do we start?
So
should we start all the way from the very beginning?
Yeah, one of the boys.
So Katy Perry's first album, One of the Boys.
Was it 2008?
Yeah, I think so.
Around that time.
Spawned hits like I Kissed a Girl,
Hot and Cold,
Waking Up in Vegas.
Yes, all bops.
All bops, yes.
She kind of broke out onto the scene very similar time to Gaga.
Yeah.
They've they've always had parallels. They always seem to release.
She was bubbling around before that, but that was her first
breakout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was that one, and then her second album was...
Which is her most famous to date still.
Teenage Dream, which spawned hits like Teenage Dream.
Yeah, California Girls, E.T.
Yes.
Last Friday Night. The One That
Firework,
Got Away, Part of Me, Wide Awake. The list goes on with that album. I don't think she released a single off that album that wasn't a hit.
Yeah.
No single flopped on that album.
Yeah. And how many did she released? A good 6 or 7, didn't she?
Yeah, because she repackaged, didn't she? The complete confection.
I like Dressing Up, from the re-release.
But anyway, that album was definitely I'd say her benchmark in her career, where it was the whole era, the theme, it put her on the map. Her first album was successful, but not to the heights of Teenage Dream.
With Teenage Dream, she went a lot camper and more out there with the visuals.
A lot more pop.
Yeah.
I know obviously her first album was pop, but it was not as bubblegum pop as she was with Teenage Dream.
She kind of carved that niche for herself a little bit, didn't she?
And I think with Teenage Dream, she hit the nail on the head in terms of it was the right time. Music was bubblegum pop back then that dominated the charts. So when she came out with it, she owned that.
Yeah.
Because it was that was her lane.
Yeah.
Because you had kind of Rihanna was kind of doing it would have been around rated R, wouldn't it, time? So she was kind of doing that dark, rocky pop type vibe. Yeah. And then obviously Gaga was doing very dance influence. Yeah. With the fame.
She found that niche.
Yeah, so she was
market.
I'm going to be this bubblegum pop girl.
And it worked.
Yeah.
She did very well. Isn't it I'm sure it broke some records. I can't
Yeah,
think
I
off the top
think
of
one
my
of the
head.
standout records was she ties with Michael Jackson for the only artist to have 5 number ones from one album.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, that is an achievement.
Yeah, I think like
Like,
everyone successionally, apart from, is successionally even a word? I don't know.
why are you asking me? I don't fucking know.
Everyone, bar I think like the one that got away got to like number 3, but all the others were like one, 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 one,
Yeah.
one.
I mean, it did very well.
Yeah.
But,
And do you know what else as well? What I think has started to stand out in that era? Her music videos. Like
yeah.
everyone was on. Like I know her videos were good for One of the Boys, but again, they weren't on Teenage Dream level. Like she gave you a concept to every. I think that's where the singles did so well because when she started promoting each one, it was its own like.
Thing.
Like E.T. was very like she changed all her page to be like alien like
Yeah.
and every. Do you know what I mean? Like
It
she
wasn't.
really
It wasn't like a persona for an album. It was like per single basis,
yeah,
wasn't
and
it?
like last Friday night she had like the alter ego.
Oh my god, yeah, that's
Like
what was the alter ego called?
Kathy something, wasn't it?
Oh, I can't remember.
And then like she had Rebecca Black in it and everything. But
Yeah,
my point was, like you say, it wasn't a theme for the era. It was like everything was packaged very
Yeah.
nicely, like, and it tells a story. Like the one that got away was a sad video.
yeah.
Like,
Oh my
but
god,
I
yes.
love that video so much.
The only one I'm not a fan of from that album is Firework.
Yeah.
I think it was overplayed at the
but
time.
it's one of her biggest.
Yeah,
though,
I know. But
But yeah, she
it's just my
gave
opinion.
like she gave performances, visuals, like even the like I say the substance of the songs, the production, everything was
Yeah.
on with that album.
basically.
And to an extent, Prism carried that
Yeah.
on.
So after Teenage Dream, we got her third studio album, which was Prism.
Yeah, so that came 2013 because
Yeah.
that was
I'm glad you know that because I didn't.
It was art pop versus like because it was Applause versus Raw, which was like a bit
Yeah.
because they got released on the same day.
Did they?
Yeah,
Ooh.
not meant to be, but they both got leaked. So then they ended up being released on the same day. So there's that whole debacle, Katy versus Gaga.
Yeah.
And obviously a lot of people, and we'll go through this when we do a Gaga episode, deemed art pop like Lady Gaga's like 4.
Ugh, I really like art pop.
I know, but like because it didn't, Applause wasn't number 1. Like for her, Gaga had been winning her whole career. But anyway, we're not talking about Gaga. But so Raw came out like smash, absolute smash hit again.
Isn't it one of the most streamed music videos on YouTube or something?
Yeah.
Um,
The only thing I'd say is that the theme of Prism was similar to Teenage Dream, very much so, in that it was pop and it was bubblegum. But with Raw, it was a bit more of an anthem, do you know what I mean?
no, I do get what you mean.
The theme of the song, it was a bit more of an empowerment type angle.
So the messaging was like changing slightly.
Yeah, and then obviously second single was Unconditionally, which was
Was that the second single?
Yeah, which
Ah.
was kind of in the lanes of her previous, like, they're not ballads, but they're like
Unconditional.
that one, if you didn't know.
I'd auto-tuned that bit.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? And then
Was
Dark
it Dark
Horse
Horse? I
was
mean,
like third single, which
that
smashed
was- yeah.
every record going.
I think that's also one of the most viewed music videos. I think it's in the billions or something stupid.
Isn't it like 2 or 3 billion? Or
Yeah,
something
and I'm
that?
like, what the fuck?
Both of those were like, but unlike Teenage Dream, even though the era was still a smash, they were the only 2 big singles.
What came after that?
Birthday.
Oh, I like that
No,
song.
I do like it, but
it
like,
didn't do as well
and
though.
this
No.
is how we do. But they're not. They weren't like number 1s. Is what
No.
I'm saying. Like she had 2 smashes, which were smashes. I'm not
Yeah.
disputing that, but she didn't have a smash with every single. She
Yeah.
like Unconditionally went under the radar a little bit.
It's because, I mean, we're going to start to talk about this shortly,
But
but
the visuals were on
Yeah.
again. All the music. I didn't like the birthday video.
it's a bit weird.
I preferred the lyric video
Yeah.
with the cakes.
Yeah.
Like, but she
Um,
was still on pretty consistent
yeah.
with the visuals. I was annoyed that she never released Walking on Air as an official single. I know it was a promo single, but I'm annoyed she never did a video for Walking on Air.
Yeah, that is a bop.
That would have yeah.
Um,
But the tour, you went to the tour for Prism,
I've been to
didn't
every
you?
single tour, yeah, except the first one. One
Did
of
you
the
go
boys.
to the California Dreams tour?
Yep.
So California Dreams tour versus Prismatic tour, how did they work? Because even though California Dreams was her like Smash era. To me, just from videos, the Prismatic tour, because she obviously must have had more of a budget, looked better.
I mean, I've been to all like I said, I've been to 3 of her tours, and they're all quite similar in the way that, it's kind of like, I hate to mention it again, but like Gaga, like
Yeah.
they're all kind of out there, and the staging's always really interesting. So like, I can't really. There's not one that's better than the other because they're both in a similar lane.
Oh, okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then obviously on tours like that, like they always weave in like old music. So
Yeah, I think the only reason, like I say, I asked that is because when I looked at visuals and stuff, like
the way
staging looked a lot better for Prismatic than
for
Teenage
Prismatic tour, she had the
California Dreams tour.
she had the prism
Yeah.
thing open,
And it was a really big
yeah,
stage, wasn't it?
which was kind of cool. But like I say, like pretty samey, but like still good.
Yeah.
Like but yeah, I mean, I guess that's a good thing and a bad thing. But,
Yeah. But I'd say Prism was a good album, and it kind of continued the success. But the tail end of Teenage Dream.
She was like, oh, I've had this really good like formula of a song that's spawned all these hits on Teenage Dream. She was like, I need to use that again and do the same for another album, which she tried, and it worked. It did work.
It did work. However, one thing that confused me a little bit about it after the album came out was, I don't know whether you remember, before Raw came out, she dropped a few teaser videos, and one of them was like there was that funeral, and one of the dresses she'd worn on the California Dreams tour.
Yeah.
And they were all
and
like
the blue
crying
wig,
in the blue wig.
Yeah.
And I was like, so that to me was trying to tease that it's like a death of the old Katy. But then by the time the album came out, I was like, well, this to me, if you put Prism and Teenage Dream in a blender, mixed up the songs and distributed them again, it doesn't matter because they could be on either or.
Yeah. It was a bit, like the messaging was a bit mixed.
Yeah.
You were like, okay,
but she got away with it because she still had the successful songs.
Sorry if you can hear the traffic outside, everybody.
So rude. People driving on a Sunday as well.
Literally, it's the day of rest.
Where are you going? Yeah, so like another Smash era though, on the whole.
Yeah. And then
she took a long break from
was
2013 to 2017.
Ooh, okay.
So 4 years.
Yeah. Did she do anything in between? She did a few features.
Rise.
Yeah, and wasn't she on was Calvin Harris's album in between that as well? She did some.
No, Feels was after Witness.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, ignore my comment then.
So, so she did Rise. She did a lot of campaigning for Hillary Clinton.
Yes.
So she spent a lot of the time doing like the election campaigning, didn't she, during that time?
But
and then like she came back. So I feel like this is where we're going to get into it.
Yeah,
I feel
so
like
this
is where it went wrong.
This is where it's started to deteriorate a little bit, unfortunately, but it did. So when did she come out? What was the first single from?
Chained to the Rhythm.
Yes, which is a bop.
Yeah.
So she came out with Change to the Rhythm, and I was like, oh, here we go. Same sort of stuff, bubblegummy kind of pop. The video was really like cutesy, kind of that futuristic thing, wasn't it? So I was like, okay, we're going to get, that kind of set up the album to be like, we're going to get the same thing again. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think, like, because she branded it like purposeful pop.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think the message she was trying to get across with that song conveyed in what the song actually sounded like. It was too similar to her other work. But to me, it was similar, but not as good. Like, the song's not a bad song, but it was lacking for me. Like, I was a bit like, oh.
It's like we've heard it before.
Yeah, and it was a more, like, reductive version of something off. Like,
yeah.
To me, it sounded like a B-side to, like, Prism. Like, something she might have recorded. Like, so, and, like, I get the visual was on. But I think I was kind of a bit like, oh, okay, where are we going with this? Are we doing the same thing again? So it was a bit of a weird start to the era. You know what I will say, though? Her production, whenever she teases stuff, the start of a new era is always on. Like, when she did Raw, she had all those teasers I spoke about. And then, like, she always, like, when she announced Prism, she had that gold truck. driving
Oh,
around with.
yeah.
And then with this, she had like those disco balls like chained up at different parts of America, and you could only listen to the snippet of the song if you went and plugged your headphones into it because it was like chained to the rhythm. I was like, so her team are really good at doing like
Yeah.
little things like that.
Like to get the hype kind
Yeah,
of going.
I quite like that they put that kind of effort behind it. It makes it a bit like fun. But yeah, the song was for me it ranks quite low
Yeah.
on
Like, I
what
don't hate it, but I also don't love it.
like I didn't go back to it, but they played it on the radio. It got a lot of radio support. Sorry, some like
someone's-
techno
yeah.
like.
You will hear that. But it like did it do well on
It
charts?
did moderately well. So it debuted at number 4. Well, I don't know when it debuted, but it got to 4 on the Hot 100, and it got to like I think 4 or 5 in the UK as well. So okay.
Yeah.
But by Katy Perry standards, lead
Not great,
single
yeah.
normally straight to number 1.
Yeah.
Like
It's
so.
good. Yeah.
Nevertheless,
Moving on
second single.
to one of our all-time favourite songs.
Yes.
It is Bon Appetit,
Yes.
featuring Migos.
Yes. So, actually, this song is so funny because when we first heard it, I didn't like it.
No, neither
like
did I.
literally, I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
Because it was the thing with this is it was so different to anything she'd done before, and it was different to Change the Rhythm,
And
it
she
was
branded the album Purposeful Pop, and it's like, well,
Yeah.
what's purposeful about this?
like you've got like it was like a shift, and I was like, okay, where's she going with this?
Yeah.
And it wasn't because she'd already done this same pop. What's the word? What's the word? I can't think of the word. But like she'd done 2 albums of similar kind of sound, and then this first single came out, which was also similar. It was like, whoa.
And then she switched it up
Yeah, and it was
differently.
like if she came out with Bon Appetit first, it would have been like, okay, where's she going with this album
Yeah.
kind of thing. But it was like a weird.
It's a weird time. I totally agree with you to switch it up on the second single.
Yeah.
Because by the second single, you think you know what you're getting with the
Yeah.
album, and then it's like, what?
Like what? Like,
Yeah.
like you've thrown this out.
And
yeah.
I think for me, like I say, I really had to get used to it because I was like, what is this? Like, I hate it. I cannot believe it's one of my favourite Katy Perry songs now, but at the time, I was like, I hate it.
Yeah, same.
I was like,
what is
I
this?
hate this. I didn't like the Migos on it. I was like,
I mean, I still don't like them on it, but that's just my opinion.
yeah, it's my opinion.
My opinion. We do
because
have.
there was a big rumour at the time. Do you remember it was going to be Ariana?
Was there?
Yeah, loads of people. Twitter was literally like, "Oh my god, Ariana's featured on Bon Appetit," and then like it was Migos.
Yeah. We have a fun fact. We have a canvas in our kitchen with Bon Appetit on.
And we
like,
got it purely because of this
yeah,
song.
dedicated to this song. Like when we finally both came round to it, we were like, "Oh my god, Bon Appetit kitchen. Let's get a."
What I will say though is, as much as I love the song, and you know it is a good song, I understand why it didn't perform well because of that switch up.
Yeah.
And it was like, what's going on? And
it's hard to say if it would have done any better if she'd released it as a first single.
Yeah, I feel like it would because I feel like even though like obviously this was like the beginning of her demise.
Yeah.
I feel like she still, when she released Change to the Rhythm, she still had that traction of it's Katy Perry. But,
Yeah.
And I think when you have that first single push, it doesn't matter what the song is, you just have a push of it being the first song they've released in years. So I think it definitely would have charted higher.
I think like a good kind of example of how that works is Beyonce, Run the World.
Yeah.
When she released that, it was like, what is this? Like, this
Yeah.
is so different. And then, but that's one of her, like, I don't know if it's her biggest song, but it did well.
Yeah, but interestingly, it didn't chart that high. But since then, it's sold loads. So it was kind of like a slow burner Run the World.
But it's like, I don't know, if she had released it first, it's like.
Yeah, I
dunno.
think it would have got like, because when I say it didn't perform well, it got to like I think 59 on the US Hot 100.
Did it?
And then in the UK, it
Ooh.
made like no splash whatsoever.
Oh dear.
But the video was on again. Like the video,
She looked good in that
and like
video.
it was so fitting to the theme of the song. And she did another campaign. Like she went round like selling cherry pies out of a van.
Oh yeah, I remember
Like
that.
so, but this was the time when she cut her hair.
Yeah.
So that was
started-
another thing that was very confusing. And I know obviously a hairstyle is not detrimental to an era, but if she was going to do the whole short hair, blonde hair, I don't know why she didn't do that from the get-go.
Yeah.
Like,
'cause
I don't know why
wasn't-
she didn't come back. Look, because it was long still, wasn't it? It was blonde, but it was long when she did change to the
changed
rhythm
it, and it was
promo.
long in Bon Appetit, like the video. She had the plaits, didn't she?
Yeah, and then she had it cut in the video.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know, like, if you're going to come back with such a striking look, I don't know why you wouldn't do that from the first single. And
Yeah.
be like, whoa, Katy Perry's got, like, a short
then if
pixie
that's-
cut now.
If that video was the only exposure that somebody had seen of her for that era, it's like...
It's more, it's in the talking point. It gets people
Yeah.
to watch it. Like,
Yeah.
if they'd be like, oh my god, have you seen what Katy Perry looks like now? Like, she's got a short pixie cut, but
Yeah.
because she'd already, like, done it, and then, like, do you know what I mean? Like, it just, and you know what didn't help with Bon Appetit? That performance on Saturday Night Live.
Oh my god, yeah. The one where she's like...
Doing weird facial expressions,
Yeah.
back bending on the table, wearing not a nice outfit at all.
Yeah. She's gone through... She was going through it. Like, she's released, like, recently. She was like...
Yeah, that performance didn't help the song at all.
But yeah, so Bon Appetit was second, and then third, throwing another spanner in the works. we
Swish,
get
Swish,
Swish
Bish.
Swish, yeah, featuring Miss Nicki Minaj.
That's another thing that I found really interesting. All the 3 singles that preceded the album,
Wasn't the 4? Didn't she release another one after Swish Swish? Wasn't it like Hey?
that was after the album came out though.
Oh, okay.
But all the 3 singles that came out prior to the album, they were all features.
Change the Rhythm, wasn't?
Skip Marley.
Oh yeah. Oh shit, yeah.
Like, none of them were solo, which is unlike her. Like, she normally always, like, releases at least one solo song before an album drops.
Yeah,
Because, like, Raw was solo, Teenage Dream was solo.
maybe.
Like, it confused me that the only features on the album, she released all of them before the album came out.
Maybe it was like, I'll get the features out so that it gains a bit more traction.
I know, but I feel like
like-
keeping one in the back pocket for when the album comes out would have created more pull for the album that then later went on to be a commercial failure. But
There it is.
but Swish Swish, a lot of controversy around the song.
Controversy.
Controversy around the song because
Yes.
obviously it was about Taylor Swift.
Yeah,
It was like her response to Bad Blood.
something like that.
But
Don't know.
yeah, I like the song, but it was overplayed.
It was overplayed, and I think she, at this point, she was trying too hard because the video, as much as it was a
flossing.
visual, like she was trying to be like, oh, what can I use to make this as relevant as possible? Because like she's now like 2 albums on from like the peak of her career,
Yeah.
and she's still trying to ride that wave and keep the audience that were with her for Teenage Dream.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, how can I?
Yeah.
Or I don't know. Like it was.
It just became a bit gimmicky. I
Yeah.
agree. Like, the thing is as well, she, like you say, she tried to keep doing this stuff to make it relevant. And you know what's really interesting? To an extent, that flossing went viral to that song, Backpack Kid,
Yeah.
from the SNL performance. But it's really interesting. This is how you know it was gimmicky, because when a song goes viral, like on TikTok or something like that, normally the song does well. Like, do you remember, like, In My Feelings with Drake?
Yeah.
And everyone was doing that thing out the door. Like, when things like the song does well, but don't you find it really interesting that, like, every little kid was running around doing that floss, but the song never actually performed well. So that shows that no one actually cared.
Because the flossing was a thing before.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. But then
It's-
she, like, jumped on the hype from it, but no one cared for the song
Yeah.
associated with it. That's what I mean. Like,
When songs go viral, you've kind of got to. It has to happen like naturally. You can't, like, the artists themselves can't force it.
it's like when I hated when they started doing, like, hashtag so-and-so challenge. Like, everyone started to try and do a challenge
Yeah.
out their song, and it's like, stop trying to make it chart
Yeah.
by doing a challenge.
Like let it be picked up naturally, and then it
Yeah.
will do well. Like Savage by Megan.
Yeah.
Megan the Trainer. Like things like this are picked up naturally, and then they do well. So
So yeah, I just think it came across a bit try hard with Swish Swish.
a little bit.
By that point, it was kind of like,
The bit
like it gets played. It was in clubs everywhere,
oh god, yeah, we couldn't
but
get
it
away
just
from it.
didn't have chart success.
No.
Video was okay, probably my least favourite of the era.
So again, it's gimmicky.
Yeah,
Like, she, yeah, not a fan. But like, it's catchy, but I'm just not a fan.
yeah. And then came the album.
Yeah.
So Witness came out in June 2017.
Sorry if you can hear the traffic, everybody. It's still going.
She premiered it. She did like a Witness 24-hour live stream where she was in that house.
Don't know.
Don't you remember like the loads of memes came out of it where she's just like stirring the coffee like when
No.
she woke up and everything?
Oh yeah, the
Yeah.
one where she's like, she looks like she's like,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, I know.
Yeah,
I know
so
what
like
you're
she
talking
did like, which are kind, again, like I say, I like those things that the record label do, but I think by that point, it was a bit too like, I don't think, and having heard the album, which we'll get onto now, nothing could have saved that.
about. No.
Like, I think the album was destined to kind of not do well. Because the lead single was underwhelming, and then two singles that followed didn't make any splash on the
Yeah.
charts or no noise, despite having quite big features on both those songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think at this point, when the album was released, I think we kind of realised that she once again was trying to create the same kind of sound, and like people get bored really easily. Like if you don't evolve, like it's like yeah, we've heard it before. Like,
And I think even when she tried to like diversify the message a bit, she didn't do it clear enough.
Yeah.
Like, because like you say, Change to the Rhythm was still very much old, and then Bon Appetit was so different. It's really confusing. Like,
Yeah.
if you come back with a new message, a new sound from era, you need to stick to that from the get-go.
Yeah.
So people are like on board with what you try, because people weren't buying what she was selling.
Yeah.
They were like, what is going on?
Yeah.
And then the album itself, obviously, I'll share my thoughts, but I thought that the album to me was massively overproduced. Like, there was way too much production on all of the songs for me. And it really lacked, like, any substance. The album, like, it didn't have standout tracks for me. It was just, like, I was listening to
There's the
it.
stuff we'd heard it all before.
I was just like, what are we doing? Like,
Yeah.
I hated the cover. I hated the cover for Witness.
Yeah.
Absolutely hated it.
Where she had the eye in her mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't vibing with it. And the sound, like, I do not go back and listen to that album.
Oh no, I don't think I've ever actually listened to it all the way through, ever. Like I think I listened to like Bon Appetit, and that's about it. Like I skip all the other songs.
The only song that I kind of tolerated was Witness, the opening track. Don't mind it that much.
Can't even tell you how that goes.
But like, just some of the, like, she does these weird effects on the vocals, and like, that's what I mean by like Mind Maze and all that. Like, it was just way overproduced, and
the concept was there. Like I get the concept, but it was so similar, like this kind of campy, not bubblegum.
see,
but
I actually disagree. I don't think the concept was there.
really,
I think for me, because in all the interviews, she was like, I just want to be like, that's why I've cut my hair, because I want to be Catherine Hudson, not Katy Perry, like what people expect me to be. And it's called Witness because I want people to see me. To me, that has all the makings to be a stripped back, like, live instrumental album. Like, this is me, this is real, this is me, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
Gonna let the light shine on me. Camp Rock, if known. But it just wasn't that. It then became an overproduced, like, I'm sorry, I do not believe those songs are, Katy Perry listens back to that album and goes, these songs are the closest to my heart that I've ever released.
yeah.
So I don't think the concept was there.
We could have done with like a Joanne kind of
Yeah.
vibe.
I'm not saying it had to sound like that, But I think when an artist believes in their music, you believe in it too.
Yeah.
And I did not believe in that, and I thought she doesn't either. She's doing this for clout.
I mean, oh yeah, definitely.
So to say it's Witness and I want people to see me and I want to be Catherine Hudson, what I get is I probably get you in terms of the idea of the concept was there,
Yeah.
but the execution
Was just a
failed
bit,
massively. They
Yeah.
did not marry up at all.
Okay. Okay, I kind of agree. Like, visually it was there, but
Yeah.
like when you scratch beneath the surface, it was a bit like,
Yeah.
probably not so much, but
Because I think to have an era where you say you want to be seen for who you are, to call it Witness, such an iconic name for
Like-
an album.
for, yeah, like, because she's always been a character, it's like, why didn't you just, she still was putting on like a character, or
Yeah,
so
like
it
in
seemed.
the music videos
Yeah.
and stuff.
Like, you should have just,
That's so true. Like in Chained to the Rhythm, she had like a pink wig and she was
Yeah.
doing this like fairy, and then like Bon Appetit, she was like,
like you're still playing a character, so it's, it doesn't add up,
yeah.
doesn't make sense, but.
And it's like, if you're trying to show who's really you, who are you then? And if you're saying you are the
Who
person,
is
you are
she?
the people who do, you want that being a character is part of who you are. Well, then it's no different to the other eras we've already seen.
Yeah. Like, I think personally, like one of the boys was closest to
Who she
is, because that,
she has like that singer-songwriter guitar,
Yeah.
like that is her.
because
I
if you
think.
if you've watched her the Part of Me movie, the clips that you see of her like out, like, before Katy Perry, is very that, like just her and her guitar, like, so
And she's a songwriter.
Yeah.
She doesn't just have songs written for her. She writes herself.
why not bring a bit of that
Yeah,
back?
like, and there was no song on there, not one song on that album that was kind of that acoustic vibe, which I found really interesting because, like you say, I believe that's her as well, because when she does interviews and they're like, what's your favourite songs that you've done, what do you like performing, she always says that the songs like Thinking of You and stuff. She never says,
By
like,
the grace of
I
God.
love performing California Girls.
Yeah, like the slower ones are like
Yeah.
her.
Unconditionally was her favourite song off Prism, like... So, do a bit more of that then, if that's what you.
Like, she's at the point in her career where she can do that.
Yeah, like, that
Like,
would have been the
she's-
perfect. She'd had 2 successful eras back to back.
Yeah.
She could have come with that and said to Capitol, like, that's her record label.
Yeah.
For anyone listening. She could have said, this is what I'm doing, and they would have said, okay.
Yeah.
Because she's Katy Perry, like, she's probably, at that time, she was the biggest on that label,
Yeah.
I think. Like,
So, yeah, she
she's
could.
earned them the big bucks. Like,
Yeah, like,
you
let her do
have-
what she wants
yeah.
to do.
Um,
But yeah, overall it was fucking traffic. Sorry.
Yeah.
Overall it was a flop from me.
And people weren't vibing with the blonde hair. And I know,
don't know what- I
people
think-
can look like they look. I'm not saying she should have changed that because I'm glad she did what she wanted to do. But people were not vibing with that hair.
People were making comparisons to the likes of like Miley Cyrus and
Yeah, because
you
when
know,
but that's a prime example actually.
Been there, done that.
When Miley did it, she did it from the beginning of that era.
Yeah.
So it was like shock. Oh my god, Cyrus has cut her hair. Like,
Yeah.
We Can't Stop was like, whoa, okay, she ain't Hannah Montana anymore.
Yeah.
And she carried that through the whole Bangers era.
whereas it was a bit.
It was a bit all over the place with
Yeah.
Katie. Like, okay. So yeah, that was kind of where her.
After that, it was
She'd
like
been riding this high for so long. I think it was like
It's-
this was
it's gonna
quite a
crash at
low
some
for
point,
her.
yeah.
Like,
the tour was alright though. Like,
noted that you said all right.
same as the others. Like, a lot of her back catalogue was in that tour. So
You know what she does as well? Correct me if I'm wrong. The tours are visually stunning, but she just uses a lot of props all the
Yeah.
time.
she's always like flying around on like a cloud or something, like on the guitar, and I'm like, what's going on? Like, but okay. But yeah, like the downward spiral of Katy Perry begun
Yeah.
with this album. And then, so where do we move to from this?
So she had a couple of years off,
Yeah.
and then last year she dropped
Was it only last year?
Never Really Over. Yeah.
Really? Was that
Yeah.
only... Okay.
So she came back. Well, what we thought was the start of a new era. Never really over.
I really like that song. Again, pop, same shit. But I was like, okay, we're getting something a bit different.
Aesthetically different.
Yeah.
Video was giving off kind of a hippie, more... And I think, actually, even though the song for me is slightly repetitive, however, for a comeback after an era of, like, Witness, and I thought she was going to go down this kind of hippie flowers route.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I can accept it, because that would have slotted so well if the second single had been, like, a guitar.
Yeah.
An acoustic kind of... Because it fits that vibe. If she'd have been, like, in a field or something playing it. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So I was like, okay, if this is the lead single, I can accept it. Commercially, didn't do great.
It's done all right on stream.
But I don't think... It's doing... Yeah, stream, but chart position. But I don't think she was expecting it to do that well. Because her previous releases hadn't.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But then she, like... So then...
I don't know what happened after that. Because then we had Small Talk.
Which I was like, oh, we're doing this again.
Yeah. Like, same message, same...
Bubblegum pop.
Yeah. Kind of, it was...
Didn't fit the theme of Never Really Over.
No, like, it was really kind of slow and...
Video didn't make sense to me.
No.
With the dogs. Like, when the concept of the song is about saying that there's... you used to be so close to someone and now there's nothing to talk about, so that you've only got small talk with them, and that's... So, what the hell did that have to do with that? Don't really know.
I'm like, okay.
Whereas Never Really Over, I got it because she references therapy in the song, and she was doing, like, therapy in the video.
Yeah. Like, makes sense. Whereas that one... Small Talk made no waves whatsoever.
No waves at all.
And neither did the third single, Harley's in Hawaii. Which...
I don't mind the song.
I like it now. I didn't like it when it came out.
Yeah, underwhelmed.
Yeah.
But you know what? I think if she'd have done Never Really Over and done Harley's in Hawaii second, if they had been the lead single and the second single, I would have accepted that, because I would have been like, it's still kind of following the same vibe, and it's a bit different for her. It was more like... It was
chilled
vibe. And the video, I love. The video suits the song. Again, those two videos, Never Really Over and Harley's in Hawaii, matched. But Small Talk was like... so again, she started to roll something out that was confusing. Because it's like, what are we doing?
Yeah, where are we sitting?
Like, where are we going?
Again, kind of a character. This, like, hippie, 70s kind of vibe. Like...
And then...
It's like...
Oh, I know what we forgot. Before this, 365.
Ooh, yeah.
Hated.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't the best. Like, I wish it had done better, because, again, that had, like, concept, character.
Yeah.
Like, just strip it out.
And to me, it was very much... I don't know whether your takeaway from this in the video was very same to Chain to the Rhythm. Like, I'm being controlled.
Yeah,
and like...
Yeah, definitely. And
like, same concept.
Because it was Zed's song, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And she was just a featured artist.
Yeah. But that made no splash.
No.
Which, considering Zed had hits with The Middle...
Yeah, and he's had hits in the past.
Yeah, and he's quite a renowned DJ.
Yeah.
And to have a person on it like Katy Perry, that should have been bigger, that song. It should have performed better.
I don't know what went wrong, though. Fucking traffic, sorry.
I don't think the song... I think the song missed the mark, to be honest.
Yeah. I can't even think how it goes.
It's like... like...
Nope. How's it go? How's it go?
I'm not thinking.
No, I'll listen to it after. I can't think how it goes.
But yeah, so, sorry, anyway. We digressed a little bit there. But jumping back, yeah, so Harley's in Hawaii. Again, no noise at all.
No.
On the charts, anyway. It didn't even chart in America.
No.
Bubbling under.
It's probably... I think it's one of her, like, least streamed singles.
Yeah.
Ever. Which is
and she was leaving really long gaps between all of them. Like, between that and then to Small Talk and then Harley. And it was like, what? I was like, is this a...
People aren't eager to hear you anymore. If that sounds really harsh, but, like, been there, done that. We've heard it. Like,
yeah.
continue to release music, but I think she needs to evolve and be like, okay, we're in a different music landscape now, so you just need to like get it out there.
Yeah.
Like otherwise you're going to lose people.
Yeah, and then like I was like, are we getting an album? Are we not? So anyway, fast forward to this year.
And
I thought she'd gone on break, pregnant. I
So-
thought, right, okay, she's gonna go away.
when did she announce her pregnancy? Well, hang on,
Oh yeah,
she announced it with Never Worn White, and then
did nothing
yeah,
again.
and then
Few
oh no,
weeks
we've had Daisies.
Yeah, so it was a few weeks after Never Worn White,
Was
which
it
I
after?
thought she was going to go on a break.
Yeah.
I thought Never Worn White was like, oh, I'm pregnant,
Was
here's
it
a song.
after?
Yeah, Daisies came after. And then Daisies got announced as the lead single. She said, right, KP5 lead single, here you go, Daisies. And I was kind of like, really confused by that, because I was a bit like, you've just announced a pregnancy and dropped a song.
About being pregnant. Well, about getting married, but
Yeah.
it was announced a pregnancy. But
And then you dropping a lead single.
yeah.
So Daisies. As far as lead single goes, her worst lead single.
Yeah. It was consistent in the fact that it followed the suit of like Never Really Over, that kind of
Yeah, it had.
Bohemian.
To me though, it's still that empowerment that she's done to death.
Yeah.
Like it was raw, but like a
different subject matter.
yeah, like a poor man's version of raw, basically. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like change it.
And the video, I get it because it was shot in COVID, but the video was, as far as her videos go, no.
She just needs to have a break. I was like, take a break, have your kid, get married. Has she gotten married? Or is she getting married?
She's cute.
Oh,
I don't know. I lost track.
Like, you know, just take some time. You are literally heavy. Like, it's not. She doesn't have to be working.
Yeah.
She's had four albums.
This is the fifth.
This is the fifth, yeah. So you don't need to be working while you're pregnant. It's not like this is your kind of. It's not a Cardi where it's like your breakout era. Like
I think because she'd been gone for 3 years after Witness, I think she was worried that if she goes for too long. I don't know. But anyway, so Daisies was not, again, commercially didn't do that well.
No.
It's, you know, it's not a bad song, but it's plugging the same message that she's been plugging for years now. Like, I can't be knocked down, I'll get back up, I'm a fighter, I'm strong, I'm a da-da-da-da-da. Like, I got the eye of the tiger. Like
I get the message, but just write about it, like, differently. Like, you can put another spin on it where it's
I'm
not...
bored of that message.
Yeah, that message particular, but you can write it, you can change the message, so you're still...
Yeah.
You're still...
Like, I'm a woman on a mission.
Yeah.
No, but that's the same kind of message, different
You can still sing about it, but, like, just have a different approach to it.
Not,
like,
I'll get knocked down.
Yeah, yeah.
Cover me in debt. It's just been done by her too many times.
Yeah. Like,
and because, like, back to Prism era, she was all like, it's about love and light and letting in the light. And then now she's talking about light as well. I'm like, we've done it. Like, for me, like, I want her to release some real shit.
Like, you're about to get married. You've been through all this shit in the past.
Like
you're about to have a
Witness
kid.
made you really depressed after that
Yeah.
because it flopped. Like, use that. Like,
Right about that.
I really wanted her to come back with a dark era. And I know that's probably really hard to do when you just, like, you're really happily engaged or married, whatever the fuck she is. About to pop out a kid. I get it's probably hard and you're not in that space. But I wanted her to come back with something that was so drastically different that it kind of would have reignited the interest in Katy Perry. And I wanted her to come back a bit less PG because, as you said, like, her fans back in Teenage Dream era were young, like girls, like
gays.
but like young, and that bubblegum pop appealed to a young audience. Those fans have now grown up and they're in their 20s.
Yeah.
Like, this type of shit isn't gonna fly.
Yeah. Like, we need something a bit more grown up.
Especially when you've got songs like a second single, Smile.
Yeah.
Like,
and the album, Smile.
Yeah, like it's just Smile. Like it's not. Who are you trying to target this at?
Yeah.
Because if it's the fans from Teenage Dream, trust me, they're not here. And if it's new fans, you're not making enough noise to gather that new young audience. Because thing is, even those kids who are like, what, 12, 13 now, they're listening to like hip hop.
Yeah. It's not.
Look,
Hip-hop
that
dominates
pop
the charts,
is not dominating now. And I'm not saying you can't do pop music, but do pop music that will appeal to those fans that you've had.
Yeah.
Like, bring them with you.
Yeah.
Don't lose them.
Yeah, basically. I'm trying to think of, like, an example. Like
Beyonce, her fans ride with her.
Yeah.
And every era's different.
Yeah.
Like, if you listen to Four, you know, completely different to Self-Title, completely different to Lemonade. But
Completely
they fuck
different
with...
to The Gift.
Yeah, but they fuck with you all the way through.
Yeah.
Because what they do is, and Gaga to an extent, they get a concept and it doesn't matter how it performs chart-wise, they fucking ride with it all the way through. And
Yeah.
it makes people believe it.
Because...
Like Gaga, Joanne, like I say, people weren't here for it, but she fucked with that from start to finish. She didn't switch it up and say, right, I'm going to start doing like pop. She was like, this is a country...
This is what I want to do.
Album.
This is what
you
I'm going to do.
You will like
Yeah.
it. You will buy it. You will stream it. You will vibe
And
with
we
me in
did.
a hat.
Yeah.
Like, you will turn up to the tour wearing a cowboy hat.
Yeah. And we did.
Exactly.
So, like, you've got to like. There's so many artists nowadays that if it doesn't go there straight away, they're like, nah.
They're
bye.
trying. This is why I think so many people now, like you say, we've lost that concept of lead single album. It's like dropping songs here and there,
waiting for one to pick up.
because people are trying to bend over backwards to
Yeah.
like. Do you know what I mean? Stay relevant and fit some
Yeah.
kind of popularity.
Like, make the music you want to make, and just. What is that?
Like with Katy Perry, my analogy is you've had so much success now, you don't need to define your career anymore by chart position. You've
No.
done it. Awards, done it.
Yeah.
Right.
Because like Beyonce doesn't chart anymore.
Exactly.
She don't
So
care.
like to me, success for her now is doing what you want to do.
Yeah.
Stop trying to make music for other people.
Like you are still going to be collecting them royalties for like California.
Yeah.
Girls, like
I
people are
would
still
admire
listening
her
to that song.
so much more if she released an album that I was like, okay, this to me is exactly what she wants to do. Authentic, da-da-da-da. If it didn't chart well, I wouldn't give a shit. If the music, and I think byproduct of that, if she does what was authentically her, the music is going to be good.
Yeah,
It just will, because it's what...
because
but-
she's trying to force herself into something that she thinks people want, but clearly we don't.
Yeah.
And it's like we can tell that
People can see through it.
Yeah, like we're not stupid. Like we've all grown up now. Like we know how to adult and to see all this shit. But
I know one thing. I'm going to let Elliot take the mic here. He wants to go in on the graphics for this era.
God. So after what were we just talking about? Daisies. So she announced the title and the title track. I don't know. So her next album is called Smile, which was meant to be out now, but it's pushed. Was it meant to be out now? Soon.
Is that meant to be out on this Friday coming? But it's 2 Fridays after.
Okay.
That.
So
End of August, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, this ain't the one. Like the visuals on this album, like the cover art, not the one. So lazy. Like
So hideous.
Like
It's not her picture, the graphic.
Yeah, like I see where they're trying to go, but it just misses that mark. Like, so for anyone that doesn't know, on Twitter there is an account, like a fan account,
Fame Kills, a Gaga fan account,
who did like some artwork for the album, and they've now actually taken that artwork and are using it as like an alternative cover for the album.
She tweeted that she loved it that much, didn't she? Like,
I just think like the cover that we have got is just really lazy. Like you could have done it. I think when you get to that point in your career, you don't need to plaster your name on the cover. Like we know who you are, like we know your face. So the fact that the title of the album took up more room than she did, like
yeah,
it's like okay, we know who you are, You don't
And
need
it just
to.
looked ugly, more to the point. If you
Yeah.
haven't seen it, check it out because it's not cute.
There was just, I really hope that wasn't the best of a bad bunch, and that was her. They've used it because she liked it. Like, I just think you could have done it so much better, and it just doesn't. It's not the one. But like, none of the promo images are just the best, and because she's pregnant as well, I'm like, now this album is going to go down as like, you were pregnant, like you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's
because
like
you're gonna have like, which is fine, but like you're gonna
Could've
have
just-
like all the visuals.
visually.
Visuals. I can't speak today. It's just her pregnant in all the videos, which is fine. But then like the era's not about her being pregnant.
Yeah, like if she was singing about being pregnant, fine.
Yeah, I mean it'd be very boring, but
Yeah,
um,
it just and so Smile the single. It sounds like everything she's done. I quite like it.
I reckon you'll get very bored of it very
yeah,
quickly.
I don't listen to it much anymore. But
And it only came out like 2 weeks
yeah,
ago.
it sounds a lot like what's
This
the
Is
one?
How We Do.
Yeah, it's got those kind of.
It's just not diversifying
No.
enough. Like it's the same
But
shit.
then now we're going for like this circus vibe as well. And I'm like, hang on, we started with daisies,
Like
and never
in a
really over with this like
field,
bohemian,
like, yeah.
Hippie, and now all of a sudden we're at a circus, and I'm like,
She's
What?
doing it. She's making the same mistake she made with Witness, but doing it again.
yeah,
Like very confusing rollout, very confusing. What's the message? Like you say, circus scene being done to death. Can
Yeah.
I just say, Take That did it. Britney did it. Like loads of people have done it. Like just put that to rest first and foremost, and second of all, like she had opportunity to come back when you've had a flop era to like come back come back with an album called Smile, and songs like Smile just aren't gonna do what
Yeah.
it needs to do.
like
I feel like commercially this is gonna do worse than
Yeah.
Witness.
I think, like, nothing. We're all aware of like the fact that the world is like in a bit of shit at the moment. Like, we don't need you singing about smiling and like
Yeah,
being.
no one's smiling.
Yeah.
Like,
We're
and that's
literally
fine.
in like a pandemic and like.
And like, trust me, there's nothing more annoying than when you're not smiling. A song that's telling you to smile.
Yeah. It just. The messaging
And again,
is just wrong.
it's
for
still that
it.
empowering. Like, finally got back that smile. Like, oh my god, sing about something different.
Yeah.
Like, but anyway, we'll conclude now. But what I will say is, as we said with the Saltuna episode, these we're not digging out there. Like, I love Katy Perry.
Same.
Like, I want to see her do well. I
Yeah.
want to see her release music that's authentically herself. We're just, analysing where
It's going wrong.
yeah, and from a
what-
consumer's perspective, like, you're entitled to that opinion because, us as consumers of music have to look at it and think, well, I'm not vibing with it, I'm not feeling it, and these are the reasons why.
Yeah. But it ain't going to change now.
And,
but
like,
I hope,
we talk from a perspective of someone who really loves music.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, I will talk to, like, my friends who I'd class as, like, the general public. Like, in terms of consuming music,
Yeah.
they like it, but they don't follow it as closely as we do. And they're just like, I'll be like, have you heard Katy Perry? And they'll be like, I didn't even know she'd released
Yeah,
stuff.
exactly.
Like, that's how... Whereas back in the day, I'm sorry, if Katy Perry released something, you'd fucking know about
you'd
it.
know, yeah. It's such a shame. Like you say, I want her to do well. I want her to have a successful era. But it's just missing the mark, like, completely. And I hope the album's okay. I hope and pray that it's got some decent tracks on it. I really do.
Yeah.
But
We'll see.
um,
It's only a 12-track album,
Yeah.
and she's decided to put Never Really Over and Holly's in Hawaii on there. So we've heard 4 of the tracks.
yeah, I'm not excited. Well, I don't know. We
I'm-
will review it when it does
I'm
come out.
intrigued, but I'm not excited.
Yeah,
Like, I feel like I'm going to be disappointed by the album.
yeah. But fingers crossed, we are pleasantly surprised. I'm hoping. I want it to. It's not going to do well. We know that, but I just hope it's a decent album.
Yeah, same.
So, but yeah.
So that concludes this episode.
I know, we've been going for quite a while. This is like the same length of our normal episodes.
There was a lot to be said about Miss Catherine Hudson.
Literally.
Smile comes out, like I say, end of August. I think it's 28th or something like that. So
yeah.
make sure you listen it. Like, we'll definitely do a podcast reviewing it.
Yes.
Definitely. If you haven't checked out our previous episodes, make sure you go back and listen to them.
Should we put some Katy Perry songs onto our weekly playlists? Should we do that?
Yeah.
Might as well.
Yeah.
We'll put a few of our standout tracks.
Yeah.
So
We'll
you can
put
have a
the ones
listen.
we discussed as well, like Harley's in Hawaii, Smile,
Yeah.
and those, so you can listen for yourself.
Yeah.
Tell us what you think.
But yeah, we shall see you. Well, not see you, but you'll be able to hear us. Probably like next week.
Yeah.
See what comes out
next week.
But yeah, make
Thank
sure
you.
yeah.
Bye.
Bye.